So Fandango has the 25 most anticipated films in 2025 from ticket buyers. So they're going on Fandango, say, oh, I wonder when this film is coming out. So I'm going to go from 1 to 10, and then I'm going to go backwards. Number 1, Captain America: Brave New World with Anthony Mackie and Harrison Ford. Number 2, Tom Cruise: Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Number 3, Chris Pratt: Jurassic World: Rebirth. Jurassic World: Rebirth. Number 4, for the world of John Wick with Ana de Armas, Ballereia. Number 5, The Fantastic Four: First Steps with Pedro, Pascal, and Vanessa Kirby. Number 6, Avatar, directed by James Ash, Fire and Ash. Number 7, Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, Wicked Part 2. Number 8, Ben Affleck, The Accountant 2. Number 9, James Gunn, Superman. And number 10, Danny Boyle's 28 Years Later. Okay, so here's the thing. So 28 Years Later is one of those franchises that's not going to make $1 billion. But people love fast-running zombies. And they love this series ever since 28 Days Later. Oh my God, 28 Days Later is so good. But all these films has been good. And so I think from that element of the consistency of the storytelling, as long as this film's like super scary and is a good story, I think this film's going to do well. Not $1 billion, but I think it's going to do well. Number 9, Superman, James Gunn's Superman. There's so much writing on this film. First, it has to make about $1 billion for it to work. Second, the Batman Part 2 is not coming out till 2027. And there won't be another big DC Studios film until then. So a lot is riding on this. And plus you got this new Man of Steel because James Gunn pushed out Henry Cavill. It's a lot. Now the trailer, I think, looked okay. Like people has mixed feelings about the trailer. I think the trailer looks okay. But man, I'm telling you, like The Flash bombed, Joker 2 bombed. So it's a lot on this Superman. And James Gunn also directed this movie. So it's a lot. As a studio head and a director, this Superman film has to work. Number 8, The Accountant 2 with Ben Affleck. I did not anticipate a second Accountant movie. I like the first one. I think Ben Affleck, listen, between Ben Affleck and Matt Damon's always the better actor, right? But I think Ben Affleck actually is a decent actor. Like I really liked his brute version of Bruce Wayne in the DC universe. And I really wish they did a old man Batman movie, but they didn't do it. They went with the younger Batman, Robert Pattinson, which is totally fine. But yeah, so The Accountant 2 should do okay. Not big numbers. In fact, I think the better drama is probably Ben Affleck's and Jennifer Lopez divorce. It might not be as bad as Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, but I think it might be a little bit bad. So we'll see. Number 7, Wicked Part 2. People who saw the Broadway play are probably intrigued how they're going to end the movie. People who saw the end of the first one is like anticipating how the second one will end. People love this. And I think part 2 will actually make more money. Maybe to $1 billion or close to $1 billion. Because the first one, I think, is like $670 million. So at the end of its run, it'll be closer to like $800 million. And I really do think one of the reasons why the numbers isn't as high as it should is because of the singing in the audience. Like some people just want to go see the film. They don't want to hear you sing. And I know people say, but I want to sing. I love the music. Like, listen, man. Some people just want to experience the film and hear real professional singers. But I think people have been scared away because I'll just wait and watch this at home because I don't want to hear people sing. I want to enjoy the film. So I think that's why the number should have the Wicked Part 1 number should have been closer to $1 billion. And I think that's part of the reason is the singing from the audience. But I think people are so intrigued. I think they'll look past that just to see Wicked Part 2. Number 6, Avatar. Man, those Avatar films, there's a lot of space in between these films, but each of those the first two has made $1 billion. And I think I got to check the highest grossing films of all time. I think it might be 1 or 2. Man, if James Cameron, who directed these films, can get a Fire and Ash to $1 billion, that's $3 billion films. That's GOAT status. Like Steven Spielberg is the GOAT. He's untouchable, right? But James Cameron is in the conversation is like one of the greatest directors of all time. If he could take these 3 films and make $1 billion, over $1 billion of each of these films. But are people burnt out? Are people saying, hey, man, I saw the first 2. I'm good. Like, we'll see. Like, either A, this film's going to make $1 billion, or people's going to say, I've seen it already. Number 5, the second film that I'm anticipating, Fantastic Four, First Steps. Marvel Studios really want the Fantastic Four to work. They've tried it before. You had the Jessica Alba, Chris Evans version in the 2000s where she played Invisible Girl, he played the Human Torch. You had the 2010 version where Miles Taylor played Mr. Fantastic. Kate Mara played Sue Richards, Invisible Girl, and Michael B. Jordan played the Human Torch and Nat Taint. Tim Story, the director of Barbershop, he directed the Jessica Alba version, and those films did okay, right? But they need this version to do super well. Like Pedro Pascal is playing Reed Richards. People thought that John Krasinski was going to play Reed Richards, but that didn't happen. Vanessa Kirby, who came from Mission Impossible, I love Vanessa Kirby. She's in this playing Invisible Girl, and they seem to have pretty good chemistry. I'm anticipating this film because of Doctor Doom. Robert Downey Jr. is playing Doctor Doom in Avengers Doomsday in 2026. If you're a fan of Fantastic Four, you know Doctor Doom is the main villain of the Fantastic Four. And I wonder if Robert Downey Jr. is going to pop up in Fantastic Four in some form, even as a post credit, because whatever happens in Fantastic Four leads into Avengers Doomsday. And Marvel also want this franchise to finally work. So there's a lot riding on this film. Number 4, the first film that I'm anticipating in 2025 from the world of John Wick, Ballereia. I love Ana de Armas. And she's been a really good supporting player in a lot of different films. And this is her first shot of leading a franchise. I love the world of John Wick. If you haven't seen the last John Wick movie, you should have. The cinematography is amazing. The stunt work is crazy. And Keanu Reeves, said, man, he loves John Wick, but his knees says different. Like Keanu's like 60 years old, and he does a lot of his own stunts, or he does as much as he can. And his body, the problem with John Wick is he got it late in his acting career. Not too late. I mean, it's not like he's super old, but he got the franchise when he was like in his late 40s, early 50s, and his body just can't compete anymore because John Wick is so action packed. So the fact that Keanu's in Ballereia is great, you know. So I think it's going to do really well. I really do. I love John Wick. I love Ana de Armas. You know, and Keanu and Anna's done several films together already. So I anticipate good things. On the opposite side, I'm not a big Chris Pratt fan. I'm not against him. Like, he's smart. He married into the Schwarzenegger family, so he's a smart guy. But I just don't think. I was never impressed by him in the Jurassic World films. Like, the reason I saw the first one with him is because of Bryce Dallas Howard. It's like, oh, Bryce is in this? I'm watching it. I'm a Bryce fan, but I don't think she's in this new one. She might be, but I don't think she's in this new one. So, but again, it's not about me. People love the Jurassic World films. They love ever since Spielberg started off with Jurassic Park. I don't think he's directed one since Jurassic Park in the early 90s. People always love these Jurassic World, Jurassic Park films. So it should do really well. Will it do $1 billion? I'm not sure, but I think it'll do well. Number 2, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Tom Cruise. Okay, so Tom Cruise had Mission Impossible Fallout with Henry Cavill, who played the villain. That was great. And then Cruise put out Top Gun Maverick, and that went like over $1 billion. And the thought process was Dead Reckoning will do great. It did okay. It only made $570 million. For most films, that's great. But for Tom Cruise and that franchise, it wasn't that great. But I think whatever they got wrong in Dead Reckoning, I think they'll fix in Final Reckoning. And I think when people saw Dead Reckoning on streaming, I think they said, oh, this film's not that bad. So I think Final Reckoning, especially since they said this might be the last Tom Cruise Mission Impossible, I think Final Reckoning will probably make more money than Dead Reckoning. Final Reckoning will make more money than Dead Reckoning, but I don't think it's going to make as much money as Top Gun Maverick. All right. And number 1, Captain America: Brave New World, which is interesting because number 1 on IMDb is Superman. Listen, I'm a fan of Anthony Mackie. I think Anthony Mackie is funny. I think Anthony Mackie has been great as Falcon. My favorite Anthony Mackie film still is She Hate Me with the beautiful Kerry Washington. I'm a Anthony Mackie fan. I have no problem with him as Captain America, unlike some people. However, there's been a ton of reshoots with Captain America: Brave New World, which is too many. Joker 2 needed 4 reshoots. This one has 4, and that's not good. And it seems like it's not testing well. Harrison Ford is playing Thunderbolt Ross. I think the film's going to do okay because of the connection to Avengers Doomsday and Fantastic Four. I think that post-credits, if anything, if the story is so, I think the post-credits might save this film. But overall, that's a lot of reshoots on a film that's not even out yet. So of all these films that I've told you about, which one do you anticipate the most? And which one do you think is overhyped?